Ali, what's up, brother?
What's up, bro? How are you?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Good to see you, bro.
Let me turn my volume up. There you go. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, good. Yeah, I hear you perfect now.
How you doing, man? Good to meet you, bro. Good to see
Good.
you.
Good to see you too. Yeah, like you like the beard. You got the whole joint. I like. Yeah, man. I think we're actually. Let me check. I think we're actually live on YouTube,
Oh,
and we can talk some
cool.
boxing. Let me just double check, make sure we live, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah, man. He looked big, didn't he?
Yard looks big, bro.
He was huge.
He's wide, man.
Yeah,
He's wide, thick.
but,
His,
yeah, but I mean, it's
his back is huge.
yeah,
Yeah, big guy, bro.
yeah. Like Better Be was smart, and I think he'll be able to handle that. But
Yeah,
like what Mike Tyson say, everybody got a plan until you get
yeah.
punched one time
Better Beav has been dropped before too. I forget the name of the guys, but he's been dropped before.
by Caleb Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been
So
dropped. So if he stands there and they just bang away, you know what I mean? Yeah,
anything can happen.
it could be an early night, but uh, I feel like he does. You maybe you most people don't realize that much, but he uses his feet. He takes small steps. Moves around.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? He moves just enough to kind of disengage the other guy, if you want to say. You
Yeah.
know,
Better Beeve is a great boxer. All
yeah.
right, brother. We live. I'm here with my co-host Ali. Good morning. We're
Morning.
gonna be talking boxing, and
How's everybody doing?
man, it's crazy. We got a good week. Now, let me ask you this, Ali. What do you think? Will Tank ever fight Garcia, or what do you think that's about?
Ryan Garcia.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they'll fight. They both want that fight to happen for the money. I think there's a lot of money in it for both of them. So yeah, definitely. I think they'll fight. Gonna have to come down to the politics of the sport. You know what I mean? Getting that sorted out. And at this point right now, man, I think they had agreed on a date from what I heard, April 15th, and that I'm not sure if that ended up, if the deal got signed or not, but. It's just one of those things where maybe some egos are involved too, where I'm the shot caller. No, I'm the shot caller. You know what I mean?
it's a lot of stupid stuff, and a lot of people been talking about this. They were saying why UFC makes money and boxing stays alive because of the diehards for the most part.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of diehards around the world, and obviously a lot of diehards in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest problem is, like you said, those egos. And I wonder at some point, Ali, is somebody going to come around and just be like, you know what? We need to start our own league where we force people to fight. Like, remember they had the Super Series of boxing for a while?
Yeah.
And I thought they said, correct me, I don't want to say it, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they said either Qatar or Bahrain was trying to pick it up, or maybe even UAE to get that going again. And then basically they need to just have all the boxing associations be like, we're dropping all the belts. Everybody has to go through this tournament and fight each other, and then they can be undisputed. And they don't have to do it every year. They can just do it like every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And it'll be fine. But I don't know. It has to be something at some point. But like you said, people know about that money, and even a promoter is going to start looking in his bank account like, dang,
yeah,
I need some money.
yeah. I really hope they don't, man. Because I think that will make things even more difficult. Because certain fighters might start going. It's just that would be kind of the same way, like right now, where the fighters with a certain network and can't fight the other guy that's on the network. On the
Really?
network. See, I think all they really need to do, man, is these promoters. You know what I mean? They need to work with each other. You know what I mean? Rather than hey, well, I got my guys, my stable. And they're gonna fight each other. You know, maybe the promoters, they can get together and let their guys fight each other. You know what I mean? Instead of just, hey, you can only fight whoever's on, this marketing, what's it called? Not marketing, but whoever's on this side.
Yeah, it's like they're making it easier for you to be on this side of the street.
Yeah.
If you're on this side of the street, then I'll make the fight. But if you're on the other side, I'll make it difficult, which is completely silly. Because it's not going to help. Boxing in the long run, and you're just going to lose more and more money. But like we joked a couple minutes ago, eventually they're going to look in their bank account like we're going to make that fight, just like they eventually made the Floyd and the Pacquiao fight. What'd you say?
I said, you know something, you referenced that right now, Floyd. Everybody wants Floyd money. You know what I mean? Everybody wants I want to make that Floyd money. I want that Floyd money.
Right.
But, the thing is, man, a lot of these guys are missing out on not making these big fights. You know what I mean? And a lot of guys, they're not busy. You know what I mean? If you've seen these guys' records right now, they don't have that many fights. They're not really that busy no more. Fighters used to be very busy. Fighters used to fight a lot. Now fighters are not fighting as much. I mean, world champions, they used to fight, 3 times a year, 4 times a year. Now, you got up and coming prospects that are fighting that much. You know what I mean? Prospects used to fight, man, like once a month and a half. You know what I mean? 2 months they were fighting. They were fighting 5 times a year, minimum.
And the funniest thing to me, Ali, is a lot of these fighters don't know who Pretty Boy Floyd is.
Yeah.
Because they were born in the daggone 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah. Those of us who are a little older, we remember Pretty Boy Floyd that knocked people out and made sure on top of knocking people out, he took any and every payday he got until he got where he needed to get to with Al Heyman. Exactly. Then he became Money Mayweather, the last ladder of his career. But the first part of his career, he was Pretty Boy Floyd. He was lining them up and knocking them down.
He was, bro. Floyd was a head knocker, straight head knocker, bro. I mean, this guy was a mean dude in the ring. His name was Pretty or whatever, but he was a head knocker, bro. This guy was out there just putting people away, and like a very, very, very mean fashion. You know what I mean? This guy was not in there playing around, or anything. And a lot of these guys, man, for me, I feel like, especially if they're undefeated, they're trying so hard and kind of, walking a thin line of trying to keep that perfect record. You know what I mean? Of that, I don't want to risk
damn problem.
But that's why Floyd got Floyd money. He put it
right.
Put it all on the line against anybody. People think he don't, fight. The best, but to me that just sounds like I just started watching boxing. When they say that about Floyd, because like you said, coming up, Floyd fought anybody and everybody.
And I really think some of them did just start watching boxing.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, because if they did it, they would know that Floyd's for, like, even some of these female fighters, they'll get these checks and they'll get these outrageous promotional contracts, and people will give them like money that's off the charts, and they'll be like, yeah, we want equal rights to this and that. And I'll be sitting there looking like, dog, like Canelo, Floyd, Devin Haney for like $5. They first fight, and then these young fighters, like, they be worried about their record, and then like Teofimo Lopez, like, yo, I need this and I need that. And it's like, all right, first of all, you got to be able to sell out an arena.
Yes.
Second of all, you got to be able to sell pay-per-views. Third of all, it's like, when I seen him in the small Hulu theater, Lopez, he did good. Then he went at the big theater in Madison Square Garden, and the big theater or the big arena was only half full. Yeah. Whereas in the small Hulu theater, he actually did pretty well. And then he still didn't get the knockout. So it's like, y'all give these kids these money, they'll be in these hype jobs, and then they'll fall apart. And then everybody, and then all of a sudden they start talking the depression talk, and people are hating. It's like, no, dude.
Yeah.
It's boxing. Yeah. Boxing goes with life. And me and you understand that. That's why people love it. It's ups and downs, but you got to keep fighting through it.
Yes.
You can't just say, oh, well, if you're a Christian, I get upset. Up, stop going to church. If you're a Muslim, up, something went wrong. Up, I'm gonna stop praying. I'm gonna stop making salat. Like these fighters don't understand. Like people love boxing because that reason right there. Like
because you might wake up that day of the fight feeling sluggish, not feeling yourself. You know what I mean? And that's what makes great fighters, bro, is waking up on the wrong side of the bed, having a bad day, having personal problems, having all these problems. You know what I mean? That's what makes greats. But when they go in that ring, you know what I mean, they can put all that to the side. You know what I mean? They can put all that to the side. They can turn it on, you know what I mean, for those 12 rounds, grind it out, do what they got to do, and come out victorious. Trust me, every human, not just every human has problems. We all got to wake up and go to work and perform.
Yes.
And do what we got to do.
Yeah, and it's like these fighters, they'll go through one thing and they'll be like, it's like they were told how great they were. They got this money. Then as soon as they get knocked, I mean, case in point, we remember how great Adrian Broner was at one point. And then he fell, but he can come back still. That's another thing about boxing. It shows you about the comebacks in life.
Yes, I hope he does, man. I like Adrian Broner, and I feel like he's got a few years left in the tank. I think, if he comes back right now, has himself a few good fights, he can make pretty decent money, get himself out of whatever financial issues he's having and troubles, and, straighten out his life a little bit,
Yeah.
I wish him the best.
And that being said, the betting line, let's just we're jumping around, but the betting line versus Beterbiev is not, well, now I'm not a betting man, and Ali's not a betting man either. We're just talking about odds, so don't nobody take that out of context. If the line was, I want to believe 450 at some places plus 650 for yard, and a lot of people are taking yard with a lucky punch. And then in another, I forget what the other one was, but basically the betting odds are minus 450 Beterbiev or minus 650 Beterbiev, and a lot of people are taking their chances on yard for one big swing. What do you think about these odds? You think they're reasonable, or what do you think?
Hey, I'll tell you one thing, man. Vegas knows what they're doing when they put these lines together. For all the sports, they really know their stuff. They have that formula down pretty good. Yeah. But hey, there's always that chance, when you're talking, a guy's minus, 4 something, and then the other guy's plus 6 something. It means, there's obviously a heavy favorite, on one side versus the other guy, Mm-hmm. But hey, there's always that chance, man. It's a fight, it's a fight, and anything could happen, So I can see people taking, Anthony Yard at plus 650, They risk 100 to win 650.
Right. Right. That's not a bad little come up. And that's probably why the guys who do win in Vegas, that's probably why they get banned from the casinos, because they're like, how you keep on getting this for all this money?
People love betting the underdog, man. Always, sport. They tell you, hey, I'm gonna risk a few bucks, but if I win, I'm gonna win big. Versus having to risk a lot of money and win a little bit of money. I'm for sure guy.
Exactly. They're saying that's what's bringing, a lot of people, they're saying that's bringing some money back to actual Michigan. They're saying because that you can actually bet on sports now like you can in Vegas.
Yep, at the casino.
I didn't know that. So that's huge. So I bet you the casino probably, instead of somebody, if they don't want to drink or whatever, if they want to just go watch the fight and not have to go to a bar or something, they could actually just go sit in the area in the casino and actually watch it in the lounge.
And like the table games and the other games weren't enough to take people's money, man. Now there's they need
enough. I'm gonna tell anybody this. I don't bet, but if you're gonna bet, just bet $20, $40. That's it. And get lucky and pay you some bills.
Something all gentlemen's bet or something.
Yeah. When you start doing that 100 and 200, if you don't know what you're doing, brother, you're playing with fire. Like, sure. I'm just warning anybody out there.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So my thing is this. Do you think Wilder or Fury will fight that UFC guy that just left from France, and Ngannou? How do you say it? Ngannou?
Ngannou.
Ngannou.
Yeah, yeah.
You think one of them will fight him in a super fight and make some money? Because that's what it sounded like. Both of them are calling him out.
Of
They're
course,
trying to do a Floyd Connor too.
of course they will. Hell yeah, they will. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
You know, if there's that kind of money involved, yes, why wouldn't they? And a lot of fighters are actually, you almost feel like, oh, that's the kind of fighters, you know, they're all itching to do something like that right now. You know, they
Yeah.
all want to do that right now because it's the easiest money. You know, with all due respect to UFC and all of them, but if you get a UFC fighter in the ring or any type of other, you know, martial artist in a boxing ring, all that martial arts and UFC, that's out the window, man. Boxing is a different ballpark. You know, it's a different domain.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, easy money. Of course, they would want to do it. Yeah, that'd be probably the easiest payday of their careers. You know.
Yeah, and that's been the complaint with a lot of UFC guys is even though boxing is more old money and it's not as active, they still get paid a lot better
Yeah.
than the UFC fighters, and that's because there's so much old money in boxing.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're just going to get better purses. And they even were saying when it comes to pay-per-views, start stacking some of the boxing pay-per-views because even UFC fans started to complain about it's one pay-per-view every month.
Yeah.
And so what UFC did was let's start stacking these cards.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you
So,
got the people their money's worth. I mean, you know, they're paying, you know, $80 to $100 maybe for a pay-per-view. Yeah, you get, you know, you got to have a nice card.
go ahead, Ali.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Yeah, I'm saying, you know, if people are paying that much money, they're expecting to see multiple good fights, not just one good fight, you know?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see where that's going. But Ngannou, I should say, he had his issues with Dana White. Dana White let him go, which I think was smart. And then we'll see if he can make the fight with Tyson Fury. Usyk is talking about fighting with Fury. I don't know if the Saudis are going to pick that up or not, but I know they picked up Joshua versus Usyk. But it sounded like London is going to put their money together.
Yeah.
To keep that fight in the United Kingdom. Also another fight, and I'll talk to you about these influencers, and you know, and that's another joke. When we on the subject of pay-per-view, people are saying, "Oh, these influencers are doing good on pay-per-view." Oh, but these people are streaming the fights and all that other stuff. And you got to remember, the influencers, people are streaming their fights because they like them. Also, their fights are not $70.
Right.
Number one. Number two, when people compare Logan Paul and KSI and Jake Paul, because Logan Paul fought Floyd, and then he did the WWE in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, so he's all over the place.
Yeah.
But then I can give Jake Paul a little bit of props compared to the other influencers, Ali, because he at least signed that female boxer. He at least is going to fight Tyson Fury's brother in, I don't know if it's Jeddah or Riyadh, but he's going to fight him in Saudi in March or February, I believe. Maybe February. But he's going to fight, and he's actually fought retired MMA guys, retired boxers. So I can respect him a little more.
Yeah.
But what do you think about these influencers coming in? Do you think that, you know, eventually they're going to run into a boxer and just get knocked out, Ali? Or do you think it's good because it still keeps boxing alive? Like, what's your opinion on all this?
It's both, man. It's good and bad, you know? I feel like it's good. It's bringing attention back to boxing, you know? But at the same time, you know, do I feel like they're kind of making a mockery out of boxing? Yeah, a little bit, you know, at the same time. But, you know, hey, it's, you know, I guess for famous people, any attention is good attention. And, you know, we'll take that for boxing too. Any attention is good attention. Any publicity is good publicity, you know? So, you know, I think, yeah, it's a pretty good thing for the sport. But, you know, boxing is not one of those things where you can step in at a late age, you know, and you know, kind of be like a second job or second hustle. It's not like boxing is very serious. Some of these guys, you know, most fighters that make it, they make it, you know, because they're hungry, they got nothing. These guys are sleeping at the gym. You know what I mean? When they're in there fighting, they're legit trying to take the other guy's head off. You know what I mean? All they got to you know, to put bread on the table. So they take it very serious, man. These guys been doing it since they were young kids, you know, and it's just hard to develop that kind of talent, even if you're naturally gifted, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
fight a little bit. But to hone that craft and to be sharp, like, you know, like a guy that's been doing it years and years and years, it's not easy, man. So, I mean, yes, for sure. You know, as long as they're fighting each other, they'll be all right. But if they start stepping in the ring with legit fighters, these guys are a rude awakening.
Well, you know, and like they always say, hey, you don't play boxing.
No, you don't.
You
Exactly.
can't play boxing. You'll
Yeah.
go in there and get your head knocked off.
Yes. Yes.
So that's what I think is funny is everybody think it's a joke until they go in there and feel that real power.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I think that's cool. Now, Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. I know we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Who wins that fight? Number one, in your opinion. Number two, who do you have a problem with that fight? I don't have a problem. A lot of people are complaining, saying this is a fight we deserve at the Garden, but I don't have a damn problem with it being in the Middle East if that's who's willing to pick up the person, pay the people who are involved. So those are my two questions. Who you think wins, and do you mind that being in the Middle East versus Madison Square Garden?
No, the ring is going to be the same, man. It's going to be the same ring no matter where you put it, whether you put it in Vegas, in New York, in Saudi Arabia, no matter where, that ring is the same. You know, once they agree on the dimensions of the ring, that ring can be anywhere. You know what I mean? And these guys are going to fight. And personally, I think, you know, for a couple of reasons, the age, Haney, you know, Haney's younger. I like Haney in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Younger. He's I was really impressed with him with the Camposos fight, man. He made it look easy, you know. Like
Two times.
boring. Yeah, like I said, it was boring, but for me personally, I boxed beautifully, man. You know, I love you. A lot of people don't know this, man. You can win a fight, you can make it all the way like Haney just did to world championship fights and win world championship fights off of a 1-2. Simple. It's keeping it simple, you know. Keep having that nice jab, boxing. Stay on the bicycle, you know. A nice right hand, 1-2. You know, 1-2 punch with a lot of jabs. That'll disturb so many fighters, man. A lot of fighters lack that. A lot of fighters lack a jab. You know, they just want to go in there and fight. They don't set nothing up, you know, with the jab, you know, or use the jab at all, you know. And I really like the way he uses his jab. I really like the way he moves around the ring. He's so young. He can box him for 20 rounds. He can box Lomachenko 20 rounds, and he was not going to be tired, you know.
At all. Right.
So, yeah, I definitely like Haney. I think Haney's just a much younger fighter. He can just outbox him for 12 rounds. You know, he can make it a, I'm not gonna say easy fight, but you know, less difficult than people may anticipate.
Yeah, and I think it will be. I mean, both guys are very skillful, and I think that's why I love boxing a little more. Yeah, than MMA because you got to think and you got to have some skill.
Yes.
But like you said, I give the edge to Devin the Dream Haney.
Yeah.
Because, you know, number one, like you said, he's younger. Number two, they both got the same footwork, same head movement.
Yeah.
And once he went over there and he took Camboso's punches, and I see the way it flatlined Teofimo Lopez, I was just like, okay, Haney got a chin, because the knock was when he got hurt by Linares, will he do it? Yeah. And then he got hurt by Linares. Not only did he go over to Australia in somebody's backyard where you can get home cooking on you easily, he went over there and whooped him twice, like you said.
Yeah, he didn't have the second time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I think he might have a little more reach than Lomachenko. And if Teofimo Lopez can beat Lomachenko, I just don't see. And Styles make fights. That might not mean nothing. Yeah. I just don't see him putting no whooping on Devin Haney. I see Devin Haney getting to him. I see Devin Haney getting the first 6 or 7 rounds, because it always takes Loma a minute to wake up. And then after the first 6 or 7 rounds, Ali, I see Loma probably waking up around, 7, 8, 9, 10 or whatever. And then the championship rounds, I see Devin just going to work and outboxing him. Yeah.
I mean, and that's kind of how Teofimo Lopez beat him. He just boxed him. You know, he just
Sure.
boxed him. You know, uh, it kept him at range, kept him at the end of the punches. Because, like you're saying, Devin Haney he's rangy, man. He's got tall arms.
Yeah.
And Loma doesn't have the longest arms. So if he keeps him at the end of his punches, you know, keeps moving, you know, doesn't give him you know, the opportunity, it keeps him off of him, you know. I think
Yeah.
he do a lot of damage. I think that uppercut will do him, the right uppercut will do him a lot of work. You know, he might be able to even knock him out, man, if he catches him, you know, if he's boxing him, keeps him off with the jab, you know, throws that right
Ooh.
uppercut as he's coming in. I think he can do a lot of damage with that too.
Yeah, people forget Orlando. Like, no knock on Lomachenko. I think he's great, but people forget Orlando Salido whooped Lomachenko.
Yeah, he just straight up put him in a fight. Put
Yeah,
him in
Mexican style for real.
yeah, because he was punching him everywhere, bro.
Everywhere.
Arms, on his, you know, anywhere. He just straight up put him in a fight.
Right, just like how Caleb, not Caleb Johnson, but just how Canelo beat up on that. I think it was Caleb Smith, whoever, the real tall dude.
Yeah,
Canelo was punching his arms, breaking his arms,
yeah,
stomach. He was whooping him.
Yeah. You know, that's how, you know, that's a strategy, man. That's not like by accident. People are not just doing that. Oh, let me just. No, that's a strategy, man. Some guys will punch. Hey, some guys will throw intentional low punches, like, but not in the groin area, on the legs, like on the quads. You know what I mean? Kind of like the Charlie horse, the guy.
Weaken his legs or something. Yeah. Now, Jermell. Oh, let's talk about your boy Tony Harrison from right there in Michigan.
Yeah.
He's going over there to fight Tim Tszyu. I'm hearing, like, when I listen to different podcasts, when I read articles, I'm hearing 50-50 on people's opinions on this.
Yeah.
Some people know Tony Harrison is slick, and he's got that, you know, he come from the Detroit gyms where Floyd Mayweather said they teach you that shoulder roll and all that good stuff. And they're saying they think he's going to go over there and whoop Tszyu, but then everybody else is worried about if it's a decision, just like how they did Manny Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn. They worried if it's a decision, Tszyu might get some home cooking, or they're worried about Tony's quote unquote chin.
Yeah, and all those are legit things, you know, like you just said. But for me, no, it's not a 50-50 fight, man. I feel like Tony's got, I don't even want to say slight edge. I feel like Tony's got the much higher edge in this fight. Tony is if we were just going to talk skill-wise, Tony, for me, is one of the most skilled fighters that are fighting, that are active right now. His skills are really something, you know, and his chin is good. This kid's not getting knocked out cold, you know. And so his chin is not, it's not like flimsy or nothing, man. But
to your argument, Jermell Charlo's a pretty hard puncher.
He's a hard puncher.
So yeah,
sleep, man. He was more tired. You know, when you're fatigued, you're tired. You know, those punches, you know, they'll do damage. But I feel like if he comes in tip-top shape, which, you know, I'm hearing he's training very hard, he's gonna do good, you know. And what the judges are gonna do, they're gonna do, man. You know, you can't really worry about that too much as a fighter. You just gotta go there, fight, do your thing, you know. And hopefully, you know, he if it goes to decision, you know, he will get the decision. Hopefully he can stop him too, you know. Like I said, Tony can fight, man. Tony's not no pushover. The guy's got real skill, you know. We've got real skill and a lot of things that a lot of fighters don't possess nowadays. He can jab, you know, very long, very rangy. Got footwork, got good boxing IQ, knows the ring, you know, everything. So now for me, it's not a 50-50 fight. I feel like he's definitely got the edge.
Yeah, and if somebody tries to, you know, if they try to cheat him, they can always order a mandatory rematch.
Yeah.
It's not nothing that can't be done. They can call a mandatory rematch and go from there. Now, are you up on this Alexis Rocha situation tonight on DAZN?
No. What is that?
He had to get a replacement. He was going to fight. I think the guy's name was Anthony Young or something like that out of Camden, New Jersey. Anthony Young actually beat Saddam Ali. Remember when Saddam Ali was champion for a while when he beat Cotto, right?
He beat Cotto, yeah.
And then he was champion for a while, and then he lost to Munguia. who I
Yeah.
think needs to fight like top level competition.
Yes, definitely.
And then his comeback fight, Saddam fought this kid that was supposed to fight Rocha. And then after Saddam lost that one to, I don't know if I think he decision lost that. I don't know if it was a TKO. But I think after that was when Saddam was like, all right, thank God I won a title. Nobody thought I would. I'm going to be a trainer. And I think he retired after that, which he made some good money.
Yeah.
In his career. I would have retired too. Not many people are world champion. He at least got that feeling to be world champion. But Alexis Rocha is the guy they're saying that is going to have to challenge Terrence Crawford. He signed with Golden Boy because they don't think the Crawford-Spence fight is going to happen. And Rocha says he's ready for Terrence Crawford. And I think Oscar is smart enough that if he wants to make some money, I think he'll make that fight happen. And I know Terrence Crawford has to get an opponent at some point.
Yes.
So, what do you think? You think that fight can happen, or you don't know? You think it'll be politics?
With Errol Spence and Crawford, you mean?
With the other kid, Rocha and Terrence. Rocha signed the Golden Boy, but he's been the only one that sounds like he's going to call Crawford out.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Crawford is going to be able to get a fight if he's not with PBC.
Yeah. I think Crawford, he's with him being a freelancer, and I think that might make things a little bit more difficult for him.
Yeah.
The promoters are gonna, kind of want to teach him a lesson, if you want to say. you know.
The only one that can get away with that is Canelo. Canelo's the only one that can get away with.
Yes.
I'll do 3 fights with Al Heyman. I'll do 2 fights with Matchroom, Eddie Herman, DAZN.
Yes.
I'll do another fight with ESPN Plus. I can get away with that because wherever I go, I put the butts in the seats.
Yes.
He can do that. And
if pretty high stock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If he fights in Texas, Ali, whether it's in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, whether it's in Dallas at AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play at, if he wants to fight in Houston, he had a good crowd down there at the baseball stadium. If he wants to fight all the way out in El Paso, if he wants to fight in Amarillo, anywhere in Texas he fights, he's going to bring the money so he can get away with that. But like you said, when it comes to Crawford, they might teach him a lesson like, oh, you want to think you can go out on your own? Because, quote unquote, he's a gatekeeper to guys like me and you. But we don't know if he's a gatekeeper where he can bring out like 30,000 people and they're willing to pay $100 a seat like Canelo and all the girls go crazy and all that stuff.
He's too nice, man. He's too nice. He needs to get on camera and talk some smack. I feel like a lot of fighters are like that. A lot of fighters, they're just they're too nice. Or not too nice, but they lack that character of getting out here talking some trash to get the people going, riled up, wanting to watch the fight.
Right.
So it makes things a little bit harder, bro.
Yeah. You got to build up the fight. You got to
sell it and build it. His skills are top notch. Crawford's skills are obviously top notch, but you got to have some of that. You got to take on the role of the bad guy sometimes. You know what I mean? And
like Muhammad Ali, he had to sell a fight. Mayweather, he had to sell a fight.
Oh man, it's an entertainment business. A lot of these fighters, I don't want to talk. I just want to let my hands do the talking. But you gotta sell that fight, man. You gotta trash you for sure. They don't mean it. A lot of these guys have known each other for a long time. So if they talk some smack, they might go in the back room and laugh about it later with each other. But
exactly, like Wilder and Fury guy. But I was just sitting there. I was sitting there laughing and thinking about like some of the fights Floyd got in, but I was watching that Adrian Broner the other day, the best of AB's like trash talk, and it was like at the time you're sitting there like, why would he say that? But when you actually watch it and read it again, you'll be on the floor laughing because he's just like he wants some more cheese on that burger, or he was just like with Ellerby, he's like, man, shut that sauce. He's hysterical,
entertaining, man. That's what people want to see.
Yeah,
that trash talker, man. No matter what, even if they buy the pay-per-view to see you get knocked out, that's good.
That's what Floyd's career was at the latter end. Can Madonna get him?
Yeah.
Can Pacquiao get him?
Yeah, exactly.
Can Robert Guerrero get him?
Now see, most people watched him because they hated him. They
They
wanted
hated
to
him.
get knocked out, you know.
And he played them all perfectly well, Ali.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they asked Floyd, they said, Floyd, Jim Gray goes, Floyd, do you care if these people love you or hate me? Floyd goes, man, I don't give a damn as long as God loves me.
Yeah,
That's all that matters.
good for him.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but going back to that Crawford and Rocha, I thought Crawford was supposed to be fighting Virgil Ortiz. No,
Well, Virgil Ortiz has to fight Stanionis, Ali. Stanionis was Earl Spence's mandatory,
yeah,
and that was going to be Earl Spence's opponent. But then he didn't. They didn't enforce it. Something goofy happened with the mandatory. So then they said, "Okay, we'll make Stanionis fight Virgil Ortiz," and then Virgil Ortiz and Stanionis winner was supposed to fight Earl.
yeah.
So Stanionis and Ortiz that fell through because somebody got hurt. That's going to be on a later date, and then it is sounding like Thurman and Spence are going to fight, and it's sounding like Crawford will either have to fight one of those two, depending on the route Earl Spence is choosing. Because it's like me, you said that's another part of the problem. Earl Spence is now Terrence Crawford sells out that basketball arena or that arena downtown Omaha. Great.
Yeah.
But Earl Spence is putting people in the seats in the Cowboys Stadium when he fights.
Yeah.
Whether it's Danny Garcia, whether it's Sean Porter, whether it's who was the last guy he fought? The guy who beat Pacquiao. You guys, like he's doing that. But yeah, what you said is 100% correct. But Stanionis and Ortiz still have to figure out their date and fight because Stanionis got hurt.
Yeah.
And initially, it was a beef with that, Ali. I'm glad you brought that up because whatever belt Earl holds, Stanionis was like number one in that sanctioning body.
Yeah.
And they ordered that mandatory originally. And then Al Heyman pulled his money out and he was just like, nah, I want what's his name? I want you guys versus Earl Spence. So that's how that fight happened instead. So
Yeah, I think eventually that fight will happen. To be 100% honest, man, I felt like the promoters did get together, for the Crawford and Spence fight. And these guys, they deserve to get paid good money for the fight, which I'm sure, maybe the promoters did want to pay them the fight, but at the end of the day, it's a business for these promoters as well, and they just felt like we couldn't make that money back, whether at the gate or for pay-per-view. So, but what they did is, man, they talked about the fight, they hyped it up a little bit. Now everybody's more interested in the fight. They stirred the pot a little bit, and then they said, "Oh no, it's not gonna happen," So now they're kind of, putting these guys in like not a tune-up fight, but in a publicity fight, to build them up a little bit more, and then they're gonna bring them back and fight together for sure, But they might, not let them fight. Let's say this year, or maybe not till the end of 2023, maybe.
But it's going on 4 or 5 years, Ali. Does it get to a point where you stop talking about it? Are they using the Mayweather Pacquiao formula where they're making sure it sells out on pay-per-view? I honestly like what you said about Virgil Ortiz because Virgil Ortiz is from Fort Worth. Earl Spence is from Dallas.
Yeah.
If those two actually fight, that will do some good live gate money and some good pay-per-view money.
You think so? You think it'll do good on pay-per-view? For sure at the gate, do good, man. But I feel like they haven't seen enough of Virgil Ortiz either. Like if you might ask, a casual fan, hey, Virgil Ortiz, I don't think they will,
Well, here's the only thing is Texas is like its own country.
Does he have 20 fights?
I don't know. I'm gonna look at his box right now. He might not have 20 fights. You're right.
20 fights yet, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, why do these fighters only it's starting to drive me crazy? These fighters only fighting once a year.
That's what
twice a year, you know what I mean?
Inactive. These guys are being inactive. They need to get busier. They want that Floyd money, but they're not busy, man. Floyd was busy, man. Yeah. You've seen him on like almost every freaking card that was happening.
Yeah.
You got to be a familiar name to sell pay-per-views. You got to be a familiar name. People have to be familiar with you. You can't be fighting once a year, and expecting to get big paydays, for pay-per-views.
Okay, you were right, Ali. He doesn't have 20 fights.
He doesn't even have 20.
Sergio Ortiz is 19-0.
Yeah, he doesn't even have 20 fights.
So they got 25. Yeah, and that's another thing I started to notice in the last couple of years, them trying to bring these cats around where they're like, all right, we have them fighting for a world championship after 14, 15 bouts. Remember back in the day, you had to get 20 wins before you could get a title shot.
They're expediting these guys, bro.
Yeah, they just send him to. I mean, Edgar Berlanga is another example of that, where he just lost his, or he didn't lose, but they mutually parted ways with Top Rank. It's like, all right, we're doing that, and then he got knocked down in that Wilder Fury undercard, and he hasn't been the same since.
Yeah. You know who I like? Boots Ennis, man. Boots Ennis is a kid.
Oh, Jerron Boots Ennis.
That's a bad boy, bro. He's staying busy too. You know what? He's got over 30 fights now.
Yeah. And I'm wondering what route he'll take too, because if they're talking about he might take the IBF, because if Earl Spence vacates his title, and goes to 154, or vice versa, I don't know how that's going to come about, but it's sounding like at some point he's going to have to get a title shot.
Yeah,
from one of those two, from either Spence or Crawford.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't like him, too much. They weren't too impressed with him. They said in his last fight, this is the first time he's fought.
I heard that, but he did win every round. But I heard a lot of people weren't impressed.
Yeah. There's just been so much hype around him. He might have, got caught on a sluggish day, but he's still outclassed the guy. But when there's so much hype around you, people think
they want KOs.
Guy like cartoons, almost like Superman,
right?
You're gonna punch him, he's gonna fly out the ring,
Yeah, that's right. They wanted a knockout, so that's not fair.
Yeah,
but if they want a knockout every time, that's not realistic. But we'll see what happens. But it's looking like April they're trying to set Ortiz versus Stanionis, and you bringing up Boots Ennis, I'm glad you brought that up. Now let's transition into Inoue Fulton. Inoue versus Fulton. Steph Fulton.
Stephen Fulton. I gotta be honest, man. I haven't seen too much of these guys, so I don't really know what.
But I know you've heard how much they talk about Inoue.
Yeah.
I like Pretty Boy. I like Pretty Boy Steph. I know he's got to go over.
What, 2 times that guy?
Yeah.
2-time Olympian, 2-time gold medalist, I think, right?
Yeah. So it's like I respect him for going over to Japan to try and get that money.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Now talk about a tough fight, man. Good luck. He would just went over to Japan out of all places to try to beat a guy in his hometown.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a tough fight. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. And what fights do you absolutely want to see this year, Ali? Well, give me not even 5. Just give me like 3 fights that you want to see this year.
I want to see Benavidez versus anybody.
Oh, did you see the fight they had at the club?
Listen, I'm gonna give you 3 fights that I really want to see. Okay, Benavidez versus Caleb Plant, which I think he's gonna clean him up. Okay.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. So you think Caleb Plant ain't go? I mean, Caleb Plant just knocked your boy out from Michigan, Darrell. That was a cold shot.
Man, trust me, I know. That was a very good matchmaking fight for Caleb Plant. That was a very good matchmaking fight. The brother is 38 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Darrell is? I didn't know he was that old.
Darrell is old. He's almost 40. Yeah, man.
See, I didn't know he was that old.
He was a cancer survivor too, bro.
He was a cancer survivor.
Yeah. His brother was actually the more skilled one. Andre, the older Andre was the more skilled one. But I don't know. I think Andre got hurt too. So, anyways, I want to see the 3 fights that I really, really want to see. I want to see Caleb Plant, versus what's his name, Benavidez. I also want to see Benavidez versus Canelo, which I think he will easily beat Canelo too.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know, Ali. Canelo can throw some power, bro.
Canelo can throw some power, but Canelo can throw some power, man, if you're just standing there in front of him and letting him hit you. You know, if you can move and
Ooh,
throw combinations like that kid can throw combinations, I think he'll beat Canelo. I
wow.
personally, I think everybody's dodging Benavidez, man. I don't think anybody wants any part of him. You know,
Wow.
yeah. But now I'll tell you who can make it an awkward, ugly fight and can maybe pull away is Demetrius Andrade, bro. If
Man,
him,
I don't know, man. Andre done so much goofy damn stuff with his career, man.
I know,
Damn, like Boo Boo is like,
you know, the guy is smart. He's been fighting a long time. He's been fighting a long time, bro. He's smart. He knows what he's doing. I think, he's not the most exciting fighter, which that's what he gets, criticized for not being really that exciting fighter. But
right.
From a boxer's point of view, he gets the job done, bro. You know what I mean? Like he wins. He gets the job done.
Oh, I like him. I saw when he knocked out Quigley and other. I think what hurt him is not being able to fight Billy Joe Saunders, because Billy Joe Saunders was taking those drugs, and then Canelo ends up knocking Billy Joe Saunders out. Yeah. I think if he gets that opportunity against Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo either has to fight him or something. My thing is with Boo Boo is he's made a lot of bad business decisions. The Rock Nation deal with Jay-Z, suing him. He had a chance to fight one of the Charlo brothers in like 2014. He pulled out the week of the fight. He's with this promoter. He's with that promoter. He's with PBC right now. Hopefully it gets better for him. But Boo Boo has made some bad business decisions. And one of the funniest snippets ever was when Canelo kicked him out of the press conference. I about cried. But respect to you for that, Ali, because I don't know. I just need Boo Boo to knock somebody out that's tough. Like even if he fights like Bivol.
And he's not that kind of a fighter that is going to go in there,
or just beat him,
walk a guy down and try to knock. He's not one of those fighters.
Yeah. If Boo Boo just beats them, I need Boo Boo to at least like just beat up like.
Listen,
a big name.
You said he pulled out of the Charlo fight.
Since 8 years ago ish.
8 years ago, you know what I mean? I don't know what was going on then. But there's always in boxing, there's that one guy that can be easily avoided. You know what I mean? There's where and they do avoid for so long. Nobody really wants to fight this guy, but he lingers around just enough. And he can stay healthy, which he's doing pretty good. This is not a guy that's been taking a lot of punishment.
That's true.
He can beat a lot of guys. Eventually they're gonna have to fight him like a Vernon Forrest, man, or like a Winky Wright.
Oh, yeah. Winky Wright was a beast. And my thing is, when he was on DAZN, I just don't understand why Eddie Hearn and Oscar didn't come together and have him fight Jaime Munguia. Triple G avoided him.
Risk that, man. Jaime Munguia I'm not so impressed with that guy.
He hasn't fought anybody at one. I think his toughest fight is Gabe Rosado, maybe.
Yeah, he's overhyped. As of right now, because he hasn't really done much for him to be catching this much hype. To get in this much hype. Right. And these guys they know that. They know that. So they don't want to put him in there, and risk, anything. Remember, a fighter is an investment for these promoters. You know what I mean? Some of them, they have them in houses. They're paying their bills. They're helping do that, to get these guys' careers going so they can make money off of them. So you got to know that they're not trying to risk these guys either like that. They don't want to play that card unless they have to,
But back to what you said, man. You said you got Benavidez knocking out. Well, not knocking out. You got to beat Canelo and Caleb Plant.
Yeah.
Woo.
Kid can fight, bro. The kid can fight.
I like Benavidez. I love him, but Caleb Plant is slick. Not
as slick as you think, honestly.
Wow. And I'm not going to argue with you. You're a former boxer. You've been in the ring, so okay.
Yeah. Hey, if you watch him, you know what? You know what's funny? I watched the highlights of that fight yesterday, man. I was hanging out with some friends, that were ex-boxers too. Uh-huh. One of the guys I was hanging out with, he actually fought Darrell Brothers, both of them. It's a kid that I grew up with. He beat both.
And amateurs or pro?
Amateurs. No, he fought amateurs, yeah. And he beat Anthony. Anthony never beat him. He beat Anthony, and he beat Andre twice, and Andre beat him once.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is in the amateurs. And remember, Andre went to the Olympics, so this guy, he's a pretty good fighter. So we're sitting and they put it on, they said, hey man, you seen your boy, he got knocked out his last fight. So they put on the highlights. he was getting caught, man. Caleb Plant was getting caught.
He was.
There's that one when he was walking in, Anthony caught him with like it was like a left uppercut slash kind of hook. He caught him coming in, and then he kind of turned him and then slammed him on the ground.
Oh, I saw that when he slammed him on the ground. That was crazy.
He was shook. He was shook. You know, he was shook. Yeah. So yeah, again, you know, he looks pretty. You know, that's what he does. He tries to look pretty and cute.
He does
in the ring, but I don't think he's got it, you know, honed down like that shoulder roll he tries using. I don't think he got it mastered like that. You know what I mean? And he gets caught and hit a lot, you know, for a guy that, hey, bro, if you see guys, like I've seen guys that can do that shoulder roll, they can literally be standing in your face and you won't be able to hit them. You know what I mean? So the guys that use that shoulder roll, you know, they really know what they're doing, because it's a lot of risk having your hand down and your other hand right here.
If you ain't got that speed like Floyd, reaction time is dangerous.
Yeah, he tries to look cute, you know what I mean? Because a lot of guys like that style. They think, hey, it's flashy, but it's not for everybody, bro. A lot of guys can get hurt fighting like that. You know?
Yeah, and get your shoulder blade cracked.
The
right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, wow. I don't know. I just feel like Canelo's head movement, because I think against Billy Joe Saunders, people were worried about Canelo with his head movement because Saunders is sick. But Canelo has worked on his head movement, and he throws those body shots, and he comes forward. But I mean, damn, if you think, man, because eventually, I think Canelo's going to fight this Ryder dude that beat Daniel Jacobs. That's going to be his comeback match, because he's got the same formula as Floyd right now. He fights on Cinco de Mayo on Mexican Independence Day. Yeah. But I think in September, Ali, on Mexican Independence Day, I think he has to either fight Jaime Munguia or David Benavidez.
Yeah.
Unless he wants to rematch Bivol, and I don't know if he wants to do that. Bivol's too big.
Nah, yeah, he's got no business fighting Bivol. But Bivol didn't beat him because he's too big, honestly. That wasn't.
You think Bivol had more skill?
Bivol just had way more skill than him. Yeah, it
wasn't. Yeah, because he didn't hurt. Yeah, because when you think about it, if he was too big, he would have put Canelo down, but he didn't put Canelo down.
And manhandling him all over the ring. It wasn't like that. He just outskilled him. You know, outboxed him. That was it. So I'm telling you. And another thing about his head movement. You're saying, I'm not. You know, again, man. You know, I'm not a Canelo fan, to be honest. Yeah, straight up. I don't feel like he's got skills again like that, man. But I really want to be honest and say something, bro. But I don't know if I can say it here, man. But I want to say.
Don't say it. You had Canelo fans, man. What?
Yeah, I'm not a Canelo fan, bro. And with his head movement, for me, it's kind of funny sometimes, you know. I swear it's funny, man, because you'll see him moving away, and something he does is sometimes he'll completely look away too. You know, like his eyes completely off the fighter. Like he'll be moving his head, you know, dodge a punch, one of these, you know, trying to dodge a punch, have his head up in the air like this.
And if somebody's fast enough, he's in trouble.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So no, you know, again, he's good. You know, he's very good. But like I'm not really impressed.
You think you say Benavidez is the sound like he the dude don't nobody want.
The top dog right now at that weight.
He the sleeping giant that it just you know. And then what do you want? What do you see in the future of Charlo? Jermell if he beats, Jermell if Zoo beats Harrison, I think Jermell beats him. But what do you think of a Harrison Charlo 3 and then Jamal? What does he need to do? He's been inactive since about 2021.
Yeah, he needs to get in the ring. That's exactly what he needs to do. Get out of that inactivity and get active. That's what he needs to do, man. I don't care. Pick up a guy from the bus stop on your way to the box and fight somebody, man. You got to fight somebody, you know?
Right.
Yeah, you got to get busy, man. Get in there and get busy. These guys they're in their early to mid 30s.
Right. You better not waste them years, man.
You know, and I don't care who you are, man. You know, science and biology at a certain point, you know, your muscles and everything, they start to fatigue, they start to wear, your body starts to wear. These guys need to get active, you know, for sure. The little Charlo, I think he's doing good. Now I'll tell you what, with him and Tony, if they fight again, I think that'll be a really good close 50-50 fight, I would say, you know,
Yeah.
because Tony knows he can outbox him, but he also knows he can put Tony away, you know.
Yeah.
So that would be an interesting fight, and that's what I really want to see, man. I really want to see them back in it together, and I really want to see my boy Tony Harrison win again, you know.
And everybody I talk to from Detroit supports Tony. So I mean, I'm almost thinking y'all could have that fight at Joe Louis Arena, man.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Or
that would be really
somewhere
nice.
One of them
Fight here in a long time, bro.
Right. They can have that because I mean Joe Louis. I mean the Pistons play up, but Joe Louis Arena only has hockey in there, so that's not that big of a conflict.
You know, they move things around, man. All the sports are downtown right now. The
Pistons are playing downtown again?
Pistons, yeah, they got this new arena called Little Caesars Arena now.
So who's fighting in Auburn Hills at the Palace? I mean, is it still vacant?
Yeah, I think it's vacant. Yeah, and I think they got plans to demolish it. I think, or you know, I know they've been doing some shows over there, not boxing or sports or anything. You know, they do like different expos, you know, different things like that. Yeah.
And what's up with the Kingdom or whatever, where Barry Sanders used to run it? Is that still up, or did they take that down?
Silverdome, that's been out. That was a long time ago.
They demolished it?
Yeah. They demolished it. They turned it into some other field right now.
Okay. I'm just thinking of other places. If it's conflicts there, what so like Oakland University, how big is their basketball arena? I'm just trying to think of somewhere where they could have a fight at.
I'm not really sure, man. Oakland University, how big it is, but I mean, hey, you know, there's trust me, there's a lot of places they can fight here. If they did it downtown, man, that would be nice, you know.
So it's plenty of arenas.
Oh
there.
yeah, I mean, you know, like now, I'm telling you, all the major sports are downtown. Whether it's you know, the Lions, they play at Ford Field or Little Caesars Arena, and Little Caesars Arena, I think they also do the hockey there, man. I think they're doing both.
So Joe Louis Arena can be used.
Joe Louis Arena right now it's not even any longer Joe Louis Arena either, man. It's called I think 53rd Stadium now or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's owned by a bank now. Yeah.
Wow.
Not owned, but that's what the name on there is.
Okay. Well, that means there's plenty of options. I ain't been to the D in a minute. Like I talked to you, Ali. Like I said, that Greektown area was nice when I saw it.
It is, yeah.
I talked to some other people. They said y'all really trying to bring Detroit back. I heard they building the train station back up again.
Yeah.
Detroit about to be lit again. Like I said, when my mom was young, you know, everybody went to Detroit. It was Motown, everything, the GM. Now everybody went to Atlanta.
Big, man, yeah.
Yeah, but it sounded like they trying to bring Detroit back for real.
Yeah, they are, man. That Dan Gilbert got pouring money in the city, bro.
Oh yeah, I forgot. They told me about that. The Cavs owner, he got plenty of money.
Yeah.
Invested in Detroit. They were saying that about 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
I think that's why that University of Michigan basketball coach ended up taking the job for the Cavs for 1 year or whatever.
Quicken Loans.
Yeah, that was smooth. Yeah. So, all right, man, we approaching the hour mark. I know you got to get back to the fam and all that stuff, but your final prediction for tonight: Yard versus Better Beef. What round and how does it end?
I think Better Beef via decision, bro.
Better Beef, but I'm going with I don't know what it is. I'm a Better Beef fan. I want him to win. Huh?
So you got a hunch?
I got a hunch. I just feel like Yard. I feel like Yard is going to have a Hakeem Rahman moment, like with Lennox Lewis. I think that's what Anthony Yard's going to have right now.
Yeah,
he's going to have a Hakeem Rahman moment. He's going to get that lucky shot, and like you say, there's no lucky shots in boxing. I think he's going to hit him with a good shot, and I think he's going to put Better Beef down. But if Better Beef wins this at 38, I won't go against Better Beef again.
Yeah,
and I'm not even against Better Beef. Deep down inside, I'm rooting for Better Beef.
Yeah.
I just feel like, anything can go wrong, man.
Anything for real, man. You know, I think they're fighting soon, man, because they're fighting London time. So I think.
Yeah, so we got in a couple hours we'll be watching the fight. So we gotta go anyway.
Yeah.
Alexis Rocha, I think he's going to win tonight because he got their replacement opponent, and it's not going to be as competitive as I thought. And then hopefully after that we can get him in with a Virgil Ortiz or a Terrence Crawford or Earl Spence.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, man. You know, we want to see all these big fights, man. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, and that's it, man. We sign out till next week, man. You got any else thing to say, Brother Ali?
I don't know, man. Hey, it's good talking, man.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
This has been Mass Tech Sports Radio for this week. We'll catch y'all next week. Peace.
Take care.
Peace.